we are, Friday night. It is 9:20 p.m. because me and Sandra, we've been working hard today. And we both just kind of walked in the door. And we've got to get a quick accountability call in before Sandra's husband gets home. So that promoted me to be totally inappropriate with a bunch of jokes before we get on the call. But we won't put that on the call just in case there's some sensitive souls out there. Bless your little cotton socks. But we'll get on with the call tonight because I'm fascinated to hear how Sandra got on over the last couple of days. We did manage to get a call done last night. I was out on a long event till I didn't get home till like after 10. So we got a couple of days to catch up on. But first of all, regional consultant Sandra Louther, not Louther, I've noticed. Are you on the call?
I am on the call, Richard.
Fan-freaking-tastic. Well, I'm ready when you are. Just come on, lay it on me, girl.
Okay, so Dr. Labus, my chiropractor that I haven't talked to for a while, had to leave him a message, and he called me back. So this did not go textbook. At first it did. I went through my script. I was really confident with it because, I had prepared. You had helped me prepare that. And then, he just went into a lot of things like, his chiropractic business is his ministry, and he doesn't really have time to do anything else. And he's been approached many times with things. And, I can't really remember everything he said and everything I said, but he did kind of go into, this sounds a little bit familiar, like someone else has approached him with it. And he said, me and my wife went to the park, met this couple. They were so nice, and they started sharing this thing. And I said, well, what was it? And whatever he said it was not ambit. And I said, well, that's not what I'm doing. And it kind of got to the point in our conversation that I felt like, let's not make this a big secret. It was one of those conversations, just telling what I'm doing. And so I agree.
And I agree.
Yeah, because I told him, I said, well, it's not a big secret. I said, I just like to present this the same way that it was presented to me, but it's ambit energy. Have you ever heard of ambit? And he said, no, I haven't. And we chatted a little bit more, and he started getting more comfortable with it and sounded more interested than what he did before. But I could not pinpoint a time with him to come to his office. He said, he works long hours. He wants to get out the door. So I went the video route. Well, I couldn't get an appointment set with him on the video route, and I gave him many options. I even said, look, I'll just text you on Tuesday about 8:30. The kids are in bed, and let's just see if it's a good time for you and your wife. I was just trying to hold back from just sending them, and that wasn't working. So I finally had to just say, yes, I will send them. I said, why don't you do this for me? Because he said, I'll watch them sometime between Saturday and Tuesday. And I said, well, could you do me the favor? And when y'all are getting ready to watch them, y'all are comfortable, the babies are down, would you give me a text and tell me that you're going to watch them? I'll get a message saying that you've finished them. I will give you a call, and we will talk about it. And he said, absolutely. He was real nice. I felt real comfortable with him. It kind of went into a, I do call him Dr. Labus, but we're real comfortable with one another. So I felt like under the circumstances, I just had to go with my gut and handle it the way that I did. And that's kind of it. Like I said, it wasn't textbook. It's kind of hard to, kind of share with someone else exactly what he said and what I said. But bottom line, he's going to look at it. And at the very end, he goes, who knows? Maybe we'll just do this together and both get rich, right? That's the idea, huh? And, and he was very positive. He wasn't being sarcastic. And I said, absolutely. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, many of the chiropractors I know, they're in business for themselves, and but they're literally trading time for money. And the buzz for him is going to be, if he's not cracking bones, he's not making money. And sometimes when I'm speaking to a business owner like this, I'll say, look, I understand, you've got a good business and this type of thing, but any good businessman really should have part of his armory, at least one of his businesses being a passive income, because we can never know that we can get out of bed to go to work. If we're sick or, God forbid, we break a bone or something like that. And every, responsible businessman really should, in this current climate, have a residual business. And that's what this represents. And you should just take a look and see if it makes sense to do alongside what you're currently doing. I may kind of go businessman to businessman with him a little bit. I did this one time on the call on one of the accountability calls with senior consultant Christy Meck. She had a business guy who had 5 businesses. Great guy. She was really keen for him to come in the business. And he was a very, very nice guy, very much a businessman, a little tiny bit aloof like I was when I first looked at this business. You know, I'm a proper businessman type thing. And I did the 3-way call for her. And so he initially was aloof with me, and I really postured right back at him. And I said, no, I think his name began with J, John, James, something like that. Let's say it was John. I said, John, I agree completely. I said, I've got a couple of restaurants. I got a music business, and I have a couple of other businesses, but I have this business because as I would consider myself a responsible businessman, I must have one of my armory of businesses a passive business, i.e., money that comes in whether I work or not. You know, I have the restaurants. I have Dickie's Barbecue restaurants. I had to posture at him to get him to listen. And sometimes you kind of need to do that a little bit with businessmen. But the thing that was really interesting with him was that posturing and that saying, well, any smart businessman surely would know he's got to have at least one passive business. And I said, and obviously he'd seen the video, so he knew it was electricity. And I said, obviously, even during a massive recession, people have still got their lights on. I said, in a massive recession, how would each one of your other 5 businesses do? He said, every one of them would suffer. I said, well, I can tell you this ambit business will not suffer one bit in a recession because people will never turn their lights off. And that was it. That was kind of what clicked with him. So if you get an opportunity to chat with your guy, obviously, hopefully a 3-way call person would talk like this with him. But I would kind of appeal to the businessman in him and say, and go that he should have something that's residual alongside what he's currently doing, because you never know what's going to happen in business. And, I don't want to repeat myself, but chiropractors struggle in a recession. People, will just live with the pain, or they'll, take an Advil or something rather than go and get their bones cracked because they don't have the money, but their lights are still going. So kind of went on a little bit, but that.
No, that's good. That's good information. Very helpful information. Yeah. On this next call that I'm about to tell you about, I was so excited. I was about to jump out of my skin. So I called my best friend, my life coach, who is in the business. And when I was talking to her about Dr. Labus, she said, another thing that you can throw out there is, something like this, Dr. Labus, God forbid something would happen to you. Would your wife be able to, kind of step in and take over the chiropractic business just to keep things going for her and the kids? And I thought, wow, that's a great. Yeah,
absolutely right. Appeal to his. I completely agree. Whoever that person is, she's very wise. I would completely agree with that and use that one myself. Very, very good. Yeah. So you've got a little bit of an armory there for when you have your conversation with him.
Right. Yeah. That's,
the family route,
good.
The business route. A number of different things. And hopefully he gets a chance to look at it and sees that it makes sense. He's a doctor of chiropractic. He's a smart guy. So, all we can do is hope that he reaches out to you. You can't push him. He will do it or he won't. We hope he does. And if he doesn't, no problem. We'll be back in touch with him in 6 months, when hopefully the timing is better for him. And that's it. Period. Done. Dusted. Moving on.
Okay, let's move on to Jack.
Yes.
Jack is the founder of the nonprofit organization with kids.
Yes. Yes.
And went through my script perfectly. I feel I did. And right after I said, thought I had that right here in front of me. I do. It's on the computer here. Right as I said, I'm going to be over by your office. I didn't retype. I said Monday. That's what I said. I said, Monday, I'm going to be over by your office at 10 and also at about 2:30. Does that work for you? And his reply was, yeah, 10:30 works great. And I had to restrain myself. I was just like, don't blow it, Sandra. You got a yes. Don't work your way to a no. And I was just like, Jack, that's great. It's on my calendar. I look forward to seeing you, and thank you so much. And then hung up the phone and about jumped out of my skin. So
yeah, you know what's very interesting about that is be careful thanking too much, because he should be thanking you just as much. I say, great, thanks very much. I'll see you on. Thank you so much is weakening your posture a little bit. Sounds weird, I know, but it's just a gut feel. But here's the thing about that more than anything else is freaking brilliant. Well done. That is so awesome. But this is what's really interesting is the assumptive close is a sales tactic, and I don't want to be, that salesperson. And I was trained in all of the sales tactics back in the 80s when I was, a rank Xerox salesperson. I was a Windows salesperson, and I was taught all the ways to get people to buy things even if they couldn't afford them. And I didn't like that. But there were a few little things that I brought with me, and one of them was the simple alternative close, because it is so brilliant. People just go with you. They just so I'm going to be there at 10:30. I'm going to be at 2:30. And if you're really relaxed and you're really thinking about it, and it sounds like you're being efficient, he's not thinking, do I want to see you or don't I want to see you? It's, do I want to see you at 10:30 or do I want to see you at 2:30? And you did it brilliantly. That's just great. And the alternative close is the oldest, sales technique in the book, but it works. And it's not disingenuous. It's totally genuine. Great job. Really good job. Well done.
Yeah, I need to be more prepared. I think that when we make that phone call, each time we make a phone call, we need to position ourselves as they're going to say yes, so that when they say yes, we don't blow it and have a heart attack and thank them to death for it,
Yeah, and that's
it threw me for a loop, and I didn't know how to respond, and I knew after I opened my mouth and was like, thank you so much, I realized I overdid it a little bit, but it was too late, but it's fine,
Yeah, it's your nature to be really grateful for somebody if something's done for you. So, forgive yourself for that. But it's got to be like, well, I was expecting it anyway. So, okay, great. Thanks very much. See you then. I know. Yeah, sure.
And then to keep reminding myself of the great revelation that I had the other day when we were texting, and I got it, and I'm like, I do not have to feel intimidated calling a doctor, calling a successful business person, because what I have is of great value to them. And just to remember that, I'm not asking for them to do me a favor. I have something of great value to them. So,
and we've got doctors in our business, and many of our leaders make more than doctors, and doctors have to trade their time for money. Period.
Right.
And I'm down at I think it's Dr. Punjab. I can't remember his name. There's an executive down at the Round Rock meeting, and he's a doctor, Dr. Punjab. He's a traditional doctor, and there I am, and there he is, up at the front of the stage doing testimonials like anybody else, and he's a doctor. So yeah, absolutely, you're absolutely right. We don't care if he joins, and you've got something of value even for doctors.
Yes. So do you want me to briefly tell you about my meeting with Karen tonight?
Sure, I'd love to hear about it. I mean, it's not relevant to the Purge Pool specifically, but I'd love to hear how things went. Yeah.
Well, we sat down for dinner, and it didn't go the way that I had planned. She just started really sharing a lot of personal things about herself, and it just was one of those moments where she just kind of needed to share, and I thought, okay, just sit back and be an ear. We're getting more acquainted with one another. And then after dinner, we got to the point, and I said, well, are you, I kind of asked her about, are you, still at the place that, you're looking for extra income alongside of what you're doing? And I could tell she was just kind of frazzled. She's in the middle of a move. She's not finished. Her daughter's getting ready to leave. And so I just felt like, let that be okay. And I'm going to revisit with her on November the 18th, and things will be settled down. So I think if I had just shown her the videos then, she wasn't there mentally with me on it. So I don't know. I guess I felt like I wanted to share anyone who's listening that if that happens, and you're with someone and that is your plan and they're in a different place, let that be okay, because I could have sat there and forced those videos on her and it wouldn't have been productive. But we have an appointment in 3 weeks, so the door's still open.
Okay, so here's my thought about that.
Okay.
I was getting my chill down my spine as you said that, because you did exactly the right thing. In my book. Again,
Yay.
I'm sure there are leaders out there that say, no, just show them the plan any way you don't know. But I'm telling you, the one thing you'll hear from me on the purge calls all the time is be patient. Be respectful for that person. She needed a kind person to sit and listen, and that's what you did. And you created a relationship and you created trust. So when the time is right, and because you showed patience, she's going to, by default, just come into the arena of the presentation trusting you. And when someone trusts you, people will be much more likely to buy from you because they trust you than because you convinced them in the way you sold to them. And so I think you did a fantastic investment in the relationship so that when you get to the presentation on November whatever date you said, I think the 5th you said, she will come into it she'll come into it trusting you, and that's absolutely everything. I'm not even going to criticize it at all. 100% correct. I would have done exactly the same thing, and it fits totally alongside the trainings that I do. Exercise patience. Be respectful to people. Be kind to people. Be a listener. Have empathy. And you did that. Wonderful. I was getting a chill when you were telling me. I was thinking, I'm so proud of you because you did exactly the right thing.
Thank you. I had to get real still because I was beginning to feel exhausted and frustrated because it was kind of some drama there, that she was sharing. And then I just kind of got quiet in myself and then I, just kind of got that just let that be okay. And matter of fact, she even said, oh, well, when we meet next time, if you want, even come to my home and I'll fix this dinner. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you see? But see what you did? You see what you did? You invested in the relationship. And so, again, like you were saying, for those people who are listening on the call, let it be okay. If you're thinking, hold on a second, this doesn't feel like the right, don't be thinking, I've got an accountability call tonight. I have to do this presentation. It's not about that. It's about the other person and respect. And so give yourself permission to say, you know what? But it's your business, right? It's your business, your decision. Give yourself permission to say, okay, this is going to be about her and being a lending ear to her and helping her out. And we'll just reappoint for when the timing is right. Patience is a wonderful thing. Fantastic. Absolutely perfect.
Great. Thank you.
Good.
Do I get a gold star or anything?
I was just about to say, so that's a gold. So you got like a couple of gold stars tonight, right?
Yeah. We got
very,
Jack
very good.
scheduled. We got Jack scheduled, and so I have 3 more. I have not got a hold of Becky, and I have not. We haven't talked about Donna or Joyce, and I did write a invite to Donna, but I don't know how good it is. And then I did recently get a Y for Joyce, but I haven't written an invite there. So I don't know if you want to talk about that later or if we're talking about that tonight. So.
Well, we've got, where are we? How long have we been on the call? We've been on the call 20 minutes. I'll leave it up to you. Obviously, this is our last accountability call during the week, and as far as the other 3 people, we can talk about that on the call on Sunday, where we actually purge your list, and we can discuss those people on there. But if you wanted to, try to get hold of those people between now and Sunday, and you want to just double check the invites with me, I'm quite happy to spend the time with you now to help you with that.
Okay. Well, we can go through it real quick. So Donna is a mutual friend. I haven't seen her for quite a long time. She's in real estate now. She's a single mom and also a grandmom, and her mom even lives with her. They live in, fair enough, big enough house for all of them, but they all live together. And as I started to write the invite to her, I think I failed early on when I started in this business and wasn't the best note taker. And I'm almost standing here thinking, did I invite her to the business? And I don't remember, but I'm not really sure. So after I go through the invite, then at the end, if she says, hey, you kind of talked to me about this, I was just going to tell her, well, since then I've promoted and I've learned a lot more. So do you want me to just read over my invite to her?
Yes.
Excuse me. Okay. Hi, Don. It's Sandra. And I'm kind of on a casual basis with her. So, hey, I'm just about to go into a meeting, so I'll make this brief. Do you have just a quick minute? Okay, great. I know it's been a while since we last spoke, but you came to mind today, and I just wanted to share this with you. Over the past few years, we've been looking at our retirement years and wanting to make sure that we're prepared. So I started a new business project, and it's going really well for me. I'm really excited about it. Not only is it going to absolutely take care of the retirement needs, but also allow nice cash flow to help Nathaniel in case he decides to go back to college. So, Donna, there's a couple reasons that I'm calling you. One being, in my business, it's important I bring awareness of what I'm doing. And secondly, this very well could complement your real estate business and bring in extra income for you. Matter of fact, I do have a few real estate agents in my business, and they're doing extremely well. I don't know if that's a no-no or not, but you'll tell me in a minute. And I said, listen, Donna, this may or may not be something for you. That's perfectly fine. But if nothing else, maybe you would want to refer me at an appropriate time. So let's meet for a drink after work Monday and see if this makes sense to you. Would 6 o'clock work? And that's it.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm going to go into the call in a second, but your growth from Monday today is dramatic and I think illustrative for everybody on the call and everybody who's not on the call who should be, how great what we do on this call is to help you become a professional at the business. So specifically, perfect, great invite. Obviously, you are reading it, and you won't sound like you're reading it when you're doing it, of
right.
course. But
I'm standing here freezing, so I'm shaking. I don't know. It's cold in the house. So it's just like my hands are, I'm freezing.
What are you doing outside? Is the house cold, or are you outside?
No, the house is cold, and I, came in from outside recently, and my hands are still freezing. So, and I don't know. You got me worked up before the call, so I'm just shaking.
I did, but we won't go into that because there was a little bit of an inappropriateness, and I don't want all those fragile.
You're fine. It was hilarious.
So here's a couple of very quick critiques, very, very minor. In the part 4 where you say there's a couple of reasons for calling you, first of all, it's really important. I would make that very conversational. It didn't sound very conversational. I need to create awareness in my business. And I'd just like you to know what I'm doing, and maybe you can share it with some friends. It's very conversational, and it didn't come across as conversational the way you said it. And the second part was that it may be something that I would. When you say it, what you said was great, but when you say it, say like you really thought about this. I was thinking about this. So to do the purpose part again. So firstly, the reason why I'm calling you is I'd love you to see what I'm doing because, like you with your realty business, you've got to make sure people know who you are, know what you do, and that's the first reason for calling. But secondly, with you being a realtor, I was thinking this actually may be something that you could work alongside what you're doing. There's a lot of synergy in what I do in my business with what you do in your business. And I think you were right to talk about your realtors. I work with a couple of realtors right now in my business who are doing really, really well with what they're doing. Now, listen, I don't know if it's going to be your cup of tea, and truly, that's perfectly fine. But let's go for a drink after work, like about 6 o'clock, unless you may not be finishing that time. I'm still available, like at 7. So 6 or 7 o'clock, we can go grab a drink, have a look at what I'm doing, see if it makes sense for you. And even if not, just the fact you know what I'm doing so you'll be able to refer me would be wonderful. So what's best? Would 6 or 7 work better for you? So hear what I'm saying. I know you're cold. I know you're reading the script. But so what? I think you're probably going to do this anyway. But I just wanted to kind of say out loud, make sure it's like be expressive, and like you did, just think. Well, I was thinking this actually may work for you as well. Kind of some real, like you really thought of it. No, do you see what I mean? Like very conversational.
Yeah, and I like actually I typed this up 5 minutes before we got on the call. And when I typed that part, there's a couple reasons I'm calling. That whole thing didn't feel good to me, and I know why now, because it needs to be a little more personal. And
right.
The relax that you're talking about, as I've gone through each one of these scripts and each one of these calls that I've made, I have not read them as a script. I've had them in front of me, but I've kind of it's like my eyes are glazing over it, but I'm just talking like I would normally talk, but yet I'm keeping myself close to saying the same thing so that I don't, say too much and I don't get too wordy. So I have really, with each one that I do, I become more comfortable, and I'm relaxed, I'm myself. Yeah, as I was telling you, it was like I was reading a book, absolutely. But yeah, thank you for that, because that part about, there's a couple reasons I didn't feel good about that, and it's because it does need to be a little more relaxed, so I took notes there, so that'd be good. I want to replay. Yeah, so that's great. And then Joyce, I don't have anything written for her. She's a hairstylist, and again, I know her through a mutual friend, so we're comfortable with her, so it will be a really relaxed call. And just recently I saw on Facebook, it appears that she somehow has adopted, or I don't know if she had a sister or cousin that passed away. I think she has 3 children all of a sudden. She's a single woman. She's in her late 30s. And she just made a comment. She has this baby and these other 2 children she's taking care of now, and how overwhelming it is. And she wrote this really long thing on Facebook, and I thought, okay, great, I've got her why now. So I have not prepared anything yet for her.
Okay, real simple. I mean, she's a hairstylist. She's a business person. She's trading time for money. She's super busy. She knows loads of people. And so this is very similar to the other invites. And again, for those of you who are listening, you probably know where we're going to go with this. But what was her name again?
Joyce.
I would say, hey, Joyce, it's Sandra Louther here. I'm literally just about to get on the call, so I'm kind of, a little short of time, but I've been meaning to give you a call. Do you have a quick couple of minutes or a quick minute? And she'll say, yeah, no problem. Okay, great. Well, and then go into your why, where you talk about you and Carl, and you're kind of getting towards retirement age, and we want to make sure that I've been trying to make sure that Carl and I have plenty of retirement for when we retire, because we have not been very good at preparing for that. So we started a new business project that's working for us really well in the DFW area. Really, really excited about it. And it's actually, not only is it going to get our retirement, nice and full for us in our advancing years, but it's actually going to give us some really good cash flow to help Nathaniel, if he decides to go back to college. And there's a couple of reasons why I'm calling you, Joyce. Firstly, as with any business, as with your hairdressing business, I want people to know what I'm doing. I'm kind of like, networking and making sure people know what I'm doing, because I know probably of everybody I know, you probably know more people than anybody in your particular business. But secondly, I was thinking this actually may be something that will suit you. I saw on Facebook that you've got, a lot of, more commitments in your life now. And what I'm doing actually, like we're trying to help Nathaniel, it actually may be really good for you to help you with your, with your new commitments. And listen, Joyce, I don't know if it's going to be your cup of tea or not, but it's working so well for me. I was thinking I really do need to reach out to you and show you what I'm doing. Again, whether it makes sense to you or not, that's perfectly fine. But we should go grab a coffee anyway, or go grab a drink after you finish work and have a look at what we're doing and see if it makes sense for you. Now, I don't know what time you finish work, but I'm thinking probably like 5:36 or something like that. And there's a Starbucks literally around the corner from you, or we can go to the for example, Sherlock's Pub just opposite your place there and go grab a drink. And let me tell you about what I'm doing, see if it makes sense. So that's what I would do. So it's very like the other ones we've done before. But I would say, I really did think about you in this one, because she does have a new why now, and that in that part 4 where we're talking about the purpose of the call is to let you know what we're doing. But secondly, I was thinking it really may be something for you, because I know that you've got some more commitments in your life, and I thought I really should reach out to you and share with you the success that we're having, because it may be something that will really help you. So really emphasizing the why, because you're able to share your why and relate it to her why. So it's the same invite as before, but I've actually added a little bit more to that. It may be good for you as well. I don't know if that makes sense when you are listening to that, Sandra.
Yes, that's really good. I'm hoping you'll be able to get this replay up for me quick. Sorry, I know you're busy, but because I really want to play it back and go through it. And it's 5 till 10, and you're so quick. I'd love to hear your script for John. It's the last one on my list, and he's the one that I know I've got to call him on Sunday. Okay. And could you just do a quick one? John, I met him. He came to our home to fix our AC unit, and when we sat down at the table to pay, he started just sharing a lot about himself, his kids. I don't have that in front of me, but I think he has 4 kids, and he talked about how he's bringing his kids up that their word is everything and integrity, and he just spoke a lot on that, and he shared with me that he's a little frustrated with this company that he's working with because they just really pushing to the limits, and he has no time. And he really, really shared. And I said to him, well, I've started a new business, and it may be something that could work for you. And he said, okay, well, so we arranged for me to call him on Sunday. And I do not remember what happened in my life. I had a family thing going on or something. I never called him back. And so this was back in probably May. So, but the door was open for him, so I need to revisit that with him. And he was very interested. He just said, I'm really busy. And he said, you'd have to get a hold of me on a Sunday, is what he said.
Okay. I think this is pretty simple. The fact he's in AC, there's obviously synergy in his business. You've heard lots of pain there. Again, it's going to be a similar invite. We've got our being in a hurry. Hey, John, Sandra Louther here. You remember you came and worked on our house back in May, and you may want to say, everything's still working, so awesome. Thank you very much for that. But I was going through my notes, and I have to make an apology because I saw in my notes that I was going to give you a call back, and I suddenly realized I hadn't called you back. If you remember when we were together, I was telling you that, I've started a new business to help my husband and I make sure that we have our retirement paid for, and also to, we have a son who's in his 20s. We want to make sure we have enough funds just in case he wants to go back to college. And I was sharing that with you, and that we started a new business that's going really, really well for us in the DFW area. And I shared it with you because you were talking about, the fact you were frustrated at work, you had 4 kids, you never had any time, and that this business would be absolutely perfect for you because it's specifically designed for busy people like you. Plus, there's synergy in what I'm doing and what you're doing, and hopefully you'll forgive me for not having called you back first time round. But I want to make things right, and buy you a cup of coffee and show you what I'm doing, just to see if it makes sense for you. I don't know if it's going to make sense for you. It feels like it would because there's synergy and it's working so well for my husband and I. But I want to spend the time just show you what I'm doing because it will help you with your business. It'll give you all your time back. You'll be able to gain the control back and control over what you're doing so you're not getting pushed around in your job. I don't know what you're doing after work on Friday, but there's a cup of coffee. We can grab a cup of coffee at such and such hotel lobby or this Starbucks, whatever you want to do, however you want to do that. Allow me to make things right and show you what I'm doing and see if this makes sense for you.
Well, I think this is a word you use frequently. Bravo!
Fantastic. Yeah, I think because you need to say sorry. It
Yeah.
shows everybody is attracted to vulnerability and humility, and you are the epitome of both of those things, and you truly are sorry. And so don't hide it. Ego doesn't have to get in the way here. And I would say, I'm sorry I hadn't got back to you. I just don't know what happened. Obviously, life got in the way. But it's great to, at the end of when you're putting the invite or the intentional invite, to say, let me make this right.
That's good.
Yeah, I like that. As I was saying, I was giving myself a pat on the back. I was thinking, oh, that's a good one. I like that.
You better be writing that down. That's a good one. You're going to need to read it.
Yes, I am. I'm going to listen back to it and write notes for when I need to do this next time. But, yeah, that'll be that's the way I would do it.
Great. Thank you. And so you're already uploading that, right, so that I can go back and listen again?
Yeah, right, whatever. I will be. I've got to. I might be able to give you a number that you can call back in on, because the way I have to do it, I have to import it into a program and then edit it and then upload it to YouTube and then send it down to Facebook. And sometimes, because they're big files, it takes a while. So I'll see if I can get you a playback number or something where you can listen back to it on your phone or something, and I'll upload it for everybody else on Facebook, because there's a lot of really, I think, valuable information on this accountability call for those, who are listening in.
Oh, well, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem.
And
all right, well, Carl's going to be walking in the door in just a few minutes, and he's going to give you a big cuddle and warm you up.
Thank you so much, Richard. It was great tonight, and can't thank you enough. So when do we talk again?
We're going to be talking again on the Purge call on Sunday night, where we're going to purge your list. We're going to debrief the week, briefly kind of summarize where we went through everything, not necessarily what each invite was, but certainly, the type of approach you went for. And we're going to, the yeses we're going to plug in, the maybes we're going to plug in, the no's we're going to put on our drip list, and how to call people back in 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is. And then at the end of the call, I'm just going to ask you to kind of let people know what was the difference in your week from, how you were the previous week to Monday, then through Friday, and what a difference it makes by putting structure in, by having, invites written down, having time allocated, knowing you're going to be on an accountability call. Does that make your week better? Does it make it worse? Is it was it no better for you? And anything's fine. Even if it's, well, the week was good. I kind of enjoyed it and blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Honesty is the most important thing. If it was like, wow, this is the best week I've ever had, that's awesome too. But and then I'm going to ask you what your score was. Out of the 10 invites that you did, how many opportunities did we get to show the plan? Again, on this call, we don't care whether they joined or not. We hope they do. We just care that they looked. Because even our Lord Ray Monty will say, show the plan, show the plan, show the plan. We want as many opportunities to do that. And that's what this call is all about, is giving people the opportunity to show the plan. So I'll be asking you what your scores are on Sunday as well.
Great. I'll be ready.
All right, my lovely. Well, fantastic. Thank you for being available late today. I'm sorry I was held up a little bit, but Sunday it is. Good luck with your other 3 calls, and I'll be excited to hear how they go on Sunday.
Thank you, Richard. I appreciate it. You have a good night.
Anytime. Give my regards to Carl, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right, lovely. Bye-bye now.